12 at 5:30.
A U.S. Senate candidate in Augusta today, and the president makes a stop in Atlanta. We'll hear from both of them.
But first this evening, Richmond County closing another school.
We're told Glen Hills Elementary is shut down because of coronavirus concerns there. Their 7 employees are self-isolating because they came in contact with one of those students. The school says the plan is to reopen October 5th, but virtual learning students are not affected by this closure. The family of Breonna Taylor speaking for the first time in Louisville after the officers who returned fire at Taylor's apartment were not charged in her death.
That grand jury decision also leading to more protest overnight. Jerika Duncan is following the story in Louisville.
Breonna Taylor's family spoke out publicly this morning for the first time since a grand jury decided not to indict any of the officers for Taylor's death.
I hope you never know the pain of your child being murdered 191 days in a row. Tamika Palmer. Well, I am so sorry. So sorry you got to go through this.
Say her name!
Family attorney Ben Crump calls the situation a grave miscarriage of justice.
What kind of sham grand jury proceeding was this? Breonna's legacy will be that black women life matters too.
The mood here in Louisville remains tense with more protests on the streets Thursday night. Demonstrations began peacefully but escalated after the 9 p.m. curfew. Police started arresting protesters, including some carrying hammers and spray paint. A local church offered sanctuary for other protesters, but police arrested many outside. As protests continue, a lawyer for Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly has shared this video from the apparent raid in March that killed Taylor. It shows the moments after Mattingly was shot by Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who says he fired his gun thinking the officers were intruders. One of the Louisville officers shot during the protest made an appearance at work yesterday. Both officers are expected to recover. The 9 p.m. curfew will remain in place throughout the weekend.
And Taylor's family is now asking the state attorney general to release the transcripts of that grand jury proceeding.
Much more news ahead after a check of the weather as we look live there toward downtown Augusta over the Augusta Canal. Some heavy cloud cover, Riley, but no rain at the moment.
For sure, Richard. We've seen a good bit of rain so far at both of our airports. At least Daniel Field got close to an inch so far with our climate report that just came out. So most of this rain fell earlier today for us here across the metro, and you can see those behind this graphic here moving east of Augusta. At Bushfield, only a little bit over 1/10 of an inch. So these airports only separated by a few miles, and you can see the difference in how much rain they saw. So that's why we always say kind of feast or famine of summer with some of these summer downpours. We're seeing the cold front side of the system this evening, and this is going to continue moving east through the area. You can see there's basically a line going through the center of the CSRA and keeping the storms east of that. So that's that cold front, and these storms are going to continue through the east the next couple of hours. So places like Barnwell, Bamberg, Allendale, Screven counties, you're going to have to deal with these storms the next few hours. But overall for us here across Augusta, looking a little bit better for us. Most of this activity is moving off, but if you do have plans to maybe head to those football games that are east of Augusta, there could be some rain right around game time, but getting drier as we head towards the end of those. Look at your weekend in just a little bit.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. A U.S. Senate candidate in our area today,
The Augusta Hot Air Balloon Festival is underway as we speak. It's a 2-day event happening at the Columbia County Fairgrounds.
And that's where we find News 12's Kennedy Harris tonight for us. Kennedy, how's the turnout?
Well, Laura, so far the turnout is good, and people are still coming in. This is the first hot air balloon in Augusta for a long time. And I'm going to step out of the way just so you can kind of see what's going on out here. There is more than enough room to social distance, and we have some food stands, rock climbing, several activities for kids, and, of course, some hot air balloons. There's actually one getting ready to be put up right now, if you can see that. But so far the organizer tells me that the ticket sales for tonight have already reached capacity, but you can still go online and purchase tickets for tomorrow.
Okay, good deal out there. Good opportunity to get outside and keep some distance between you and do something fun. Thanks for that, Kennedy.
All we need is some good weather, Riles.
And it looks like most of that rough weather now moving east of Columbia County. So if you're heading out there looking dry, but a strong storm heading towards Williston, Blackville, and Barnwell. Update on radar in your weekend coming up.
And an 89-year-old pizza delivery driver becomes a social media star without even realizing it. So his online community did something for him that brought tears to his eyes.
On January...
An 89-year-old Utah man started delivering pizzas to help make ends meet. 89 years old. But thanks to a couple of TikTokers, maybe he won't have to work so hard anymore.
Carlos Valdez has the story of the positive power of social media.
There are as many places to get pizza as there are toppings.
I love pineapple on my pizza.
And when it comes time to order that combination, Carlos Valdez chooses this Papa John's in Roy.
That's the only thing my wife loves, so...
It's not so much because they think it's the best tasting pizza, but more because of the delivery guy.
Hello, are you looking for some pizza?
The Valdezes have gotten to know Derwin Newey from his deliveries.
Sure, he appreciates your advice 1,000 times.
So much that they ask for him by name when ordering and record him for their TikTok videos, which have become pretty popular with their 53,000 followers because of how kind Newey always is.
It's insane.
But one thing that kept coming up is why an 89-year-old man was delivering pizzas.
Somebody at that age should not be working that much.
So the Valdezes got an idea. They figured, why not ask their followers to maybe donate some money to help Newey out? They thought maybe they'd get a few bucks here and there. Instead, they got a lot more.
Collectively as a community, we all came together and we were able to raise over $12,000 for this amazing person.
This morning, the Valdezes went to Newey's house for a delivery of their own.
Good morning, Dylan. How you doing?
Newey had no idea.
We collectively collected a gift for you. And I am here to deliver that to you on behalf of the TikTok community.
Newey didn't even know what TikTok was.
You communicate with each other?
Yes.
Through the telephone?
But he knew what $12,000 was and couldn't believe it.
How do I ever say thank you? I don't know what to say.
Turns out he lives alone and started delivering pizzas because he couldn't afford his bills on Social Security alone.
And I work about 30 hours a week.
Now, with this money from strangers, maybe he won't have to work so hard.
I don't know what to say, but except thank you.
It's a delivery he never expected.
This couldn't have gone any better.
Proving
There's hope.
being kind to each other is priceless.
We love you.
Some wonderful reporting there from Alex Cabrera, but you love that, don't you?
Absolutely. The power of the good that we see on social media. Sometimes there's so much bad on there, but a lot of good, too.
I love seeing that. Okay, let's have a look outside as we head into a weekend. Some menacing-looking clouds out there, Riley.
Definitely is, and that's a stronger thunderstorm we're tracking bordering Aiken and Barnwell County, and there is going to be the risk for some stronger storms to move through some of those eastern counties, places like Barnwell, Bamberg, Allendale, over the next couple of hours. It is all thanks to the remnants of beta. This is going to continue and drag this cold front through the region through this evening. So if you live east of Augusta, your rain chance is still relatively high over the next couple of hours, but it looks like if you live west of Augusta, much drier conditions for the most part. Now, of course, as I say that, tiny little showers starting to form. So the overall forcing of this front is going to be moving through. And since we did see some sunshine earlier within the last couple of hours here in Augusta, that could have destabilized us enough to spark off some new showers with this front. But overall, this is where the bulk of the moisture and the heavy storm activity is between New Ellington and Savannah Riverside. That is where this storm is currently moving and heading towards places like Williston, Blackville, Barnwell. You may get clipped by that as well. This is producing some lightning with it and very heavy rain, maybe even some gusty winds. These storms do have the potential to turn into a supercell-like nature, a lot of twisting and turning in our atmosphere. So that is why there is a threat for maybe a severe thunderstorm or two. We already had a tornado warning issued just about an hour ago in Kershaw County. So for our eastern counties and further towards the north and east in Carolina, there is going to be that threat for some stronger thunderstorms. It is a marginal risk, so we haven't really bumped up the threat from yesterday, but it's a 1 out of 5, so not 0. So just need to pay attention to those storms as they move through if you live in Barnwell, Bamberg, Allendale, or Screven counties through this evening. But heading past sunset, at least an hour or so after sunset, most of that, at least hazardous weather, is now east of the viewing area. So as this front continues to move towards the east, it's going to bring us some drier conditions into Saturday. We're at least going to hang on to the clouds, though, for the first part of your Saturday morning. Later into the afternoon, we actually should see some sun. Those clouds are expected to clear out. High temperature is going to be fairly average into the mid-80s for most of us. Unfortunately, on Sunday, rain chances are back. We're expected to stay dry the majority of the day, but late Sunday afternoon and the Sunday evening, there could be some showers and storms. Even though this particular model is going dry, other models not so much. So I did throw in a rain chance for your Sunday. Not an all-day rain by any means, but just watch out for a passing shower for any outdoor plans. Higher rain chances, though, Monday into Tuesday, and this is actually going to be thanks to a stronger cold front moving through. That is going to bring us another cool down into next week. So by Wednesday of next week, we got highs back in the 70s and lows in the 50s.
All right, thanks, Riley. He's been awarded a medal for his bravery and service, but it's definitely not the kind of hero you'd expect. How this rat is making his country safer and maybe even saving lives.
In action now. Some new artwork to show you. Just weeks after the world said so long to Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman, they're honoring him like this in Disneyland. An artist created this mural on display in downtown Disney. It shows him doing the Wakanda salute with a boy in a children's hospital wearing a Black Panther mask. The artist says he was inspired by Chadwick's heart for other people and his courageous battle with cancer.
One of the biggest parades on Earth being postponed this year because of COVID. Rio de Janeiro says their annual Carnival parade is pushed back. With the virus still rampant in Brazil, they say it's just not safe to hold it this year. The last time the parade was delayed was over 100 years ago, back in 1912.
A new recipient of a medal for bravery in Cambodia goes to show heroes come in all shapes and sizes. A rat in Cambodia awarded a gold medal for his work finding unexploded landmines. Magawa, the rat, was trained by a group to sniff out and identify landmines. He's located 39 landmines and 28 unexploded bombs since he was trained. Some 4 to 6 million mines were laid in Cambodia between the 70s and the 90s, leading to tens of thousands of casualties over the years. The group that trained him said the medal was to recognize his life-saving bravery and devotion to duty.
Most of us are currently dry around the metro. We are tracking a stronger thunderstorm, though, over New Ellington in Aiken County, and those extend into Barnwell. Now, look at radar in your weekend coming up.
Wanted to take you back out live to Columbia County. The Augusta Hot Air Balloon Festival is officially off the ground. Laura, looks like a gorgeous sight over there.
They are lucky that the showers ended up moving east of us for the most part. Riley will tell us more about that. But, yeah, pretty cool sight to see these hot air balloons. And they are tethered, so they're not just going to go, fully,
You won't end up on the
vertical.
coast somewhere.
Right, if a good breeze hits you. But, yeah, very cool.
A big blow-up is planned for 8 o'clock tonight. And, Riley, they need some good weather to make all this happen. But just a fantastic sight there. We appreciate that. Live from Columbia County.
Hey, very cool stuff going on, and they got very lucky. Just take a look at how close some of these storms are to the Augusta Metro and Columbia County area. Just outside, right near Bushfield, heading towards Beach Island, crossing the Savannah River, so they're around, but moving off towards our east. So this is the good news if you're heading out there later this evening. But still some storms across Aiken and Barnwell County, and can't rule out these stick around at least the next couple of hours. But here across the metro, looking drier, heading into the weekend, back in the mid-80s, cooling off next week.
That's our time for now. News 12 at 6 o'clock starts after a short break. We'll see you then.